Hello there everybody, Waddles here. Welcome back to the Let's Play series, episode 44 now. We're inching up there one episode at a time, obviously. And last episode we made this creepy spider October themed area. Kind of cool, kind of really awesome. I really like this area, and it shows up really awesomely, coolly on the map, by the way. And then between episodes I grew trees. And today we're going, to do this area. I've got a few things I want to get done, but I'm not going to say them at the beginning like usual, just in case we don't get as far as I want to go. But what my plan for this area is beetroot. We don't have anywhere to grow and farm beetroot. Now, sure, I could plant it in any of the farms that we have built, but what fun is that? And I was thinking if we had a beetroot field in here, in this lower part, like I was kind of alluding to or mentioning that I had an idea for this lower part last episode. If we had this all as like crops growing, not that necessarily we always harvest them, but that there's crops in there, it would look really nice, I think. So that's what I want to do. I want to try and keep a pretty good balance, a fair balance of what is already here. I want to leave this pretty natural, and I want to have a muddy path cutting through here. So of course, concrete powder is going to swoop through here, but we've got to be careful not to put it right next to the water. As a side note, I don't think I ever showed you guys this, but I redid the face. I showed you that, but this is the pickup chest now. Still not amazing rates. Stuff gets caught on these ledges, but it's a thing. So I've got our path in here. Now I think the next best thing to do is just start tilling everything else. I think, and I'm really unsure about it, but I think I want all of this filled up with crops, with beetroot planted in here. I'm going to have to harvest and, replant a bunch of times, but I think that's what I want. I'm not sure. I've never really done anything like this for a decoration. Like usual, change of plans. It's not going to be just beetroot. I started growing beetroot, and, I was thinking maybe in large quantities, this is not going to look stunning in here. So I'm mixing in wheat. We're going to do wheat and beetroot. Probably about an even mixture, maybe a little bit more wheat. I think it'll look really nice in here. So I'm kind of just harvesting the beetroot as it grows, and then coming back in and planting wheat around in here. But the other thing that I want to do today, the probably more important thing, is this building right here. I need a excess storage room. I didn't plan on really needing to build one of these, but we have more netherrack than I will ever be able to store in that boat. We have more cobblestone and almost more dirt than ever will fit in that boat. So I want to build a little bit of like a tower, a silo type thing for just a large amount of stuff to store. So I've got the design actually pretty figured out. It's going to be a mix of stone brick, dark oak wood, maybe a little bit of cobblestone, but we're going to match the blocks used on this build, and I'm thinking maybe the builds over here all try and look pretty similar. Like the other side of the swamp, the builds are cool and all, but they don't really match together, which is fine. But I think it would be an interesting little experiment for me to do by trying to match all the builds over here. So that's what we're gonna go with, and it's gonna have, I forget how many chests, but more chests than in the boat, I think. The tower part is done, pretty basic. I just made a simple variation in moss stone and cracked bricks, but now the roof is going to be a little bit like a dome. If I do this right, that is. I want it to be like a dome, but domes aren't usually my thing. They're kind of tricky. So I think I want to raise this part once, or... No, maybe I don't want to do this. Yeah, this is more like it. Now, okay, I think I actually have the hang of this dome this time. Very, very surprised, but I think I'm doing it right. That's kind of a dome. It's not very steep of a dome, but it's a dome. It works. So now this build looks really flat, right? That would be my next problem with the build. So I want to come back and try and add some type of posts along the side, I think. I think that would make the most sense next, but I don't think we can go much higher than this because the build is so short. But I want it short like this, but I also know I want to move the door. I mean, I feel like the door makes sense over here, right? Because everything is kind of connecting over here, but maybe it actually makes more sense over here. This is more of like a main walk path. It's facing everything. Maybe we do want the door on this side of the build. I'm not too sure. But I do know that now these beams are in here, but they look odd. So what I am thinking is cobblestone now. This is where the cobblestone comes in for this build. We'll do some sort of like little like roof kind of covering over that. I think that would look kind of nice. It would match the cobblestone on that build over there. Yeah, I've decided the door goes on this side because if I'm going to have part of a city over here, this is going to be like a path. So this is going to open up onto this road. And I guess because of this being so thin, that's kind of like another reason that makes me want to move the door. It's just so narrow right here, but I like it narrow. I don't want to move the path back a little bit because the narrowness, I think, is what really helped that build. But now that all of the exterior is done, the interior is going to be pretty darn basic. We're going to have a bunch of chests lining this wall and this wall. A bunch of double wide chests all next to each other, kind of in that formation that I just put the dirt in, but on both walls, going all the way up as far as I can. And, you know, I probably want trapdoors up there. That is going to be the excess storage. I want to never have to worry about the excess storage again in the future. It's something I don't want to have to think about, so we're going to make it way bigger than I would ever imagine needing. For once, I'm actually feeling like very, very confident about my build. I usually don't feel like too amazing about my builds, honestly, sometimes. I'm not sure why. I think I'm a good builder, but I don't know. The interior is really basic. Like I said, I'm going to fill this with chests, and then I want to do like these fences just running down on the side there, and then on the other side I have to finish them. I'm going to run out though. And then I'm thinking an iron door for this building because this would be a nice spot to AFK if I needed cactus. And with all the chests in here, it needs to be safe. There's no doubt about that. So that's going good. Now I'm thinking a giant tree right in the middle of this field would look very, very nice. And then I have to figure out lighting because pumpkin lighting on the ground, I don't know if that'll work this time too stunningly because of how I have the paths done. You'd see orange shining through if I put a trapdoor down, so I don't really like that idea. And I'm pretty empty on the ideas for the lighting right now. I'm thinking maybe glowstone could work. Glowstone doesn't look bad, but even that I'm unsure of. So I've got a little bit of tree cutting to do, and then just kind of fence making, tree growing to do. I've made some moves. Some of those are backwards. It's that column. That kind of stuff drives me crazy. But I've made some moves. Look at this. We got that giant tree in, finally, and I grew some more along the edges. But what do you think about this? I was messing around with like shaping these trees, making them custom. I've never really done this before in this fashion, and I think it looks really nice. It's a little different, but I don't know. I messed around with this one too a little differently. It's different, but I like it, and I really like how this is looking minus the torches. Still haven't came up with an idea on that, but over here, I have the door ready to go in. And then I'm thinking we're going to do stained glass in these windows. Probably red. Red sounds cool to me. I hit the button right there so we can get in and out. But other than that, I just need all of the other chests. But I don't know if that's something I am up to doing today, because that's a lot of wood. I'm going to have to do that off camera eventually. We already have more than enough in here now. All of that is absurd amount of storage. That's a lot, so that's gonna do me good for quite some time. Also, I finished this path over here. Finally, I decided to keep this path like the forest path up here, and kind of like, you know, keep this little area where Frosty sits as like a separate biome, a whole different feel, a lot more happy over there. And then we get this like evil swamp going on. So that is all set, and you know, I'm happy with how it turned out. I'm really happy with how this is turning out, though this might honestly be my favorite part of this world so far. I'm not sure, don't quote me on it, but I'm really feeling this part of the world. It looks really nice. I don't think I've ever used red stained glass in this world yet either, so that'll be kind of different. Definitely pops and stands out, but I think I'm okay with it. It's something. Maybe I'll get tired of it later. It kind of matches the spider eye, though. Kind of just a nice little thing to pull it all together. So really, there's not too much more that I want to do today. I want to decorate this area around the building, though. Then over here, not really sure either. I'm thinking probably... maybe we just bone meal this path here. It's just a small little path. I didn't want to do the farms all the way in front of the cactus area. And I have a strong feeling, very strong feeling, that this area would look very good with shaders. We'll have to load this world up with shaders sometime soon. I still haven't seen most of this world with shaders at all. I don't know why. I just never really bothered to load it up with shaders. Absolutely unsure of what the path should look like over here. Did the path blocks for now? I'm really not too sure about that, though. Even I'm just stumped. The paths are what I struggle a lot with, clearly, and you know, I'm gonna have to come back to it. The pumpkin lighting in the ground looks good, and it works, though. Everything is all lit up like it needs to be. Either it'll grow on me or something else will come to me in terms of that path. Well, that is absolutely a stunning amount of work done in here. We filled this whole thing in today, and I'm really happy with how that turned out. I need to get a little bit more hay bales, but other than that, we're pretty much set for today's episode. Off camera, I'm going to have to move a lot of stuff into there. I need to empty out the cobblestone from the ship and move some of the random chests that I have laying around into the ship. And I just realized this tree is going to be a spawn hazard. I guess we throw a torch there for now. But off camera, like I said, I've got a lot of moving to do. So thank you so much for watching this episode today. I had a lot of fun with this episode, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. I will see you next time. Make sure you check out my playlist. New top 5 videos. They're pretty cool. And yeah, goodbye.